My name is Lara Adepoju, and I have recently passed the SQE 1 and 2 at the first attempt. I qualified as a solicitor in Nigeria in 2010. I worked with the Ministry of Justice, the Litigation and Advisory Services, where I rendered support to the government departments. I advised on contracts, breach of contracts. I gave advice relevant to compliance with state guidelines, and I also represented the government in court cases where we had to resort to litigation or where the relevant government had been sued in one form or another. I conducted negotiations on behalf of the government as well. So since coming into the UK, I work with one of the law firms in the Northwest. I work in the commercial litigation dispute resolution department. My role involves advising businesses, giving support to businesses in compliance with the CPR. Where we are in court about a matter, I prepare witness statements, pleadings, and represent my client in court. When I came into the UK, I realized that the only way that I was going to be able to progress my legal career was to do the SQE. It was a new exam. I understood at that time it was coming in newly, and there really wasn't anyone who had done the exam that could advise me about it. But I still felt that was the only way for me. So I took that decision at that time, and it has paid off for me. When I decided to do the SQE, I consulted with some of my friends who had come in from Nigeria and were practicing in the UK. Several of them dropped the name QLTS by me and told me that I could look into QLTS program, that it was very robust and that they had found it very helpful. So when I did my online search about the program that they had for people who were preparing for the SQE, I was quite impressed. It was quite robust and it looked like something that would be very beneficial to me. At the same time, it was affordable for me. My experience with QLTS was really great. I onboarded easily. The moment I paid, I was onboarded easily. I was given access to all the online materials they had. I was also sent a box of hard copies of all the documents, all the papers, all the handouts, so that if I wanted to use the physical copies, I could have them, and if I wanted the online copies, I could have access either way. So it was a great experience for me. I had support all through the length of my program with them. I had access to tutors as well. I could ask questions and they would come back quickly. It was really great. I really found the mocks useful. I practiced the mocks on end. I would do 3-4 a day, and there would be answers. If I missed anyone, I would be able to go to the answers and review how I should have answered the questions. Because the program is, the syllabus is really bulky. You may not be able to exhaust the length and breadth of it, especially if you're working full-time like I was. So you may really not have that much time to go through everything. But with the mock questions, they are quite precise, they're quite direct, and they just let you know where you are at, because when you finish every assessment, every of the mock, it would let you know your score, you'd know where you are, and if you have to take the mock again, you'd know if you have made progress. I also found the flashcards really useful. They were, just like a go-to. They were so direct, precision, and they were just, something you could easily lay your hands on. If you really were not in the mood to do any kind of deep reading, you could just use the flashcards. They were like a great reference point for me, and I really loved that. The mocks and the flashcards. I'd say I spent 4 months preparing for SQE 1. I spent another 4 months preparing for SQE 2. I'd say I spent about 4 hours every day. So I would work till 5, 6, and I would start to read from 7 to 11 most days, or about that. At least I try to do that 4 times or 5 times every week. So I committed about not less than 20 to 25 hours every week. I felt quite prepared because I had dedicated a lot of time to using the materials that QLTS had provided. At the same time, as it is with any exam, you might just still be a bit anxious. So I approached the exam with all the preparation I had with QLTS, a bit of anxiety, but when I came out of each of the exams, I didn't feel so bad because I felt the questions were quite familiar to me. Strangely, I didn't expect that the questions would be so familiar, but they were just based on things that I had studied with the QLTS. And the feedback from other people who had done the exams was, the feedback wasn't great. They didn't feel good. They didn't feel that they had prepared for the exam. Some of them also subscribed to other trainers. I asked the trainers they subscribed to, and they told me they had subscribed to this or that, and they didn't feel that the trainers had prepared them for this exam. But I felt that QLTS had actually prepared me for the exam. Passing the SQE has been great. He has provided me with a great feedback. It resonates with me. It assures me that, if I could do that at first attempt, I could do anything. So, it has boosted my confidence. It has boosted my knowledge about the UK law. I'm more confident and I'm able to perform in my role in commercial litigation and dispute resolution. I'm able to give better advice to my clients. I have a fuller understanding, and I have no doubt that that would continue to aid me in my work in litigation. I think that a preparation course is very necessary for the SQE1 and SQE2 because the exam is quite rigorous, it's quite robust, it covers a wide range of subjects, so it would be good, very necessary as a matter of fact, to take the preparation course. I'd advise aspiring solicitors who plan to take the SQE1 and 2 to be confident and to allocate adequate time for the exam, and of course to subscribe to a training provider. Obviously, I would recommend QLTS because they were quite supportive and they were quite affordable, and they came in highly recommended. To be a successful solicitor in this present day, you would need to continue to develop yourself professionally. It would also be good to have good networking skills. You cannot be an island as a solicitor now. You need to continue to associate with people in your field and outside of your field. You need to be commercially aware. You need to have an awareness of what is going on in your field and even outside your field.